Giving a warm welcome to Congressman Denham.
Well, good evening and thank you. Let me start by saying thank you, Ron, for a great introduction. Thank you for standing with me. I ran in a district, when I started my Senate career off, in a district they said a Republican couldn't win, barely above 30% Republican registration. And then right after my re-election, they launched that recall against me because they thought that they could bully us into passing tax increases. You guys have stuck with me. I appreciate it. And now I'm proud to be here tonight addressing you, giving my first congressional update. And boy, what an update it is. I've been in Congress now for just barely over 2 months now. And obviously a huge honor, a huge privilege when you're walking through those doors of Congress. I don't even have words to explain what that feeling is like. But I've got words to tell you on my first vote. It was to fire Nancy Pelosi. What a great way to start the congressional life. It started with a lot of excitement, and then we got into the things that we talked about in the pledge. First of all, we read the Constitution on the floor, and a lot of people say, why are you reading the Constitution on the floor? It's about restoring the integrity of our government. Letting people know what that Constitution stands for and that we're going to follow it. Bringing transparency and openness back. Then right after that was the first time it really dawned on me, the lights really came on, an amazing feeling when we repealed Obamacare. That was amazing. Many votes over the last 8 years across the street in the state senate, and you know, I always joked around with my seatmate. This one, we're going to kill this bill. This is the bill we're going to kill, and you know, numbers all start going our way until we get to the M's. When you get to the M's, it starts going down after that. And you know, sitting there in the floor of Congress, watching that vote, knowing that the numbers are with us, and coming to the realization that it is our turn to lead. And lead we're going to do. After that, we started doing cuts. And we came together as a freshman class. This freshman class is amazing. 89 freshmen empowered to change the way that our government runs. I mean, we are focused. We are together. We're a team. Every week we get together, not once, but several times. This freshman class comes together and we talk about the things that are coming up, not only in committee, but the things that we're going to pass on the floor. And it was amazing as leadership came back to us and said, okay, we've got a huge cut here, $31 billion. And you could have heard a pin drop in this freshman class. Several days after that, came back with $54 billion, and then $68 billion. The pledge was $100 billion, and when it came to the floor, this freshman class demanded that we were going to go above and beyond the $100 billion, and we're going to keep cutting. It is amazing sitting in committees now, knowing that we're going to pass bills to bring jobs back to our country, to bring water back to the Central Valley so that our farms can flourish once again. To actually be able to use our resources, we should be a self-sustaining nation that, you know, we've got some of the best resources in the world. We have the largest energy opportunities with coal, oil, our timber resources. It's time to actually use our own resources so that we don't rely on the rest of the world for them. And I got to tell you the amazing part about this job, for only being there for 2 months, I sat down with John Boehner, who's a great friend, and you know, I talked to him on one of my first days there and said, I'd really like to have a chairmanship. And he laughed. He said, Denham, you're a freshman. Freshmen don't get chairmanships. You're going to have to wait your time. I said, well, with all due respect, sir, if you don't mind, I would like to go out there and just test the waters and see what I can do. And I went out, I worked hard, we launched a campaign, and I'm proud to tell you that I am the chairman of the Economic Development FEMA, all of our natural disasters that happens, and our properties around the entire nation. And if you'll remember over the last several years, this is what I focused on in the State House, getting rid of San Quentin and the Coliseum and all the golf courses around the state. It's things that either outlive their usefulness or we just shouldn't own. You think it's bad in California, you should see what we own on a federal level. We're going to sell over $15 billion in properties right now. We're holding a hearing. The first hearing I held was in an old post office in Washington, D.C. It was below freezing, and I brought the entire committee. They said, well, you can't hold a committee outside of the Capitol. We did, and we brought an enormous amount of attention on a post office that we spend $6 million a year to maintain, when we should get over $1 billion for the sale of the post office that's just over a block and a half away from the White House. If we can't sell a piece of property that's been vacant for a couple of decades next to the White House, then look out. So, I am excited. We are selling things. We are cutting the size of government. We are going to change things as we know it as a nation, and it is about time that we do so. And one thing I just want to leave you with before I go tonight. I ran in a seat that they said a Republican couldn't win. We've just seen a tidal wave across the nation, the biggest pickup that we've ever seen as a nation. Republicans, 89 of us in this freshman class, and it stopped at the Rockies. We didn't pick up anything on the West Coast. Sure, we won a seat in Washington and we lost a seat in Hawaii. We ended up dead even here on the West Coast. I didn't stop with the chairmanship. I went to the NRCC and I said, I want to go to work. I want to pick up seats in my state. I want to pick up seats on the West Coast. This tidal wave is not done. I am proud to tell you I'm the vice chair of the NRCC. I am overseeing Region 1. This is the biggest region in the nation and our biggest opportunity to pick up seats. I'm here tonight to ask you for your help. Before redistricting comes out, we need your help as you've never helped before on the grassroots level, getting involved. And what I really need right now is to identify good candidates to make sure that when redistricting is done, we're ready to run. Because we've got an opportunity to pick up at least 5 seats in California alone. And in this whole left coast of blue states, this is our biggest opportunity as a nation. We're going to be playing some defense across the nation, holding these 89 seats that we have. But we're going to be playing offense on the West Coast, and we're going to need your help to do it. Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to continuing to serve you in Congress.